What's going on, people? Tonight, we're going to get into how to make your business more money. And this is one of the things that you have to do. This is a new year, new room, new everything. This is Glendon Cameron, your hustling godfather. And what we do here is build businesses for generational wealth and to have the most optimum standard of living that you can have. So, with that, let's get into it. Once again, today is the end of all of the holiday specials. So if you're on the email list or you want to get something below, make sure that happens tonight before 11:59 p.m. So let's go ahead and talk about how to make your business more money. It's to build a brand. And I'm going to give you a perfect example of a brand that you know that maybe you have one of their products in your pocket, on your wrist, or in your house. Apple. When you see this little logo right here, this little, I don't know if it's going to show up here. When you see this little, I know. When you see that logo, you know instantly what it is. You know that when you buy an Apple product, the packaging is so efficient that you could pull it out, boot it up, get started, get using it. Now, a brand is not the logo. The brand is what the relationship that you have with the company. So when you see this little Apple logo, what you think about the company is the brand. And Apple is known for high quality, cutting edge products. And even though that they haven't really fulfilled that promise in the last few years, that they've been able to do this for decades because they've built a brand. Apple, simple, better. Whatever Apple means to you is their brand. It's not whatever Apple puts out. It's what you say behind Apple's back when they're not in the room. One of the things that exactly Reddy said, Wealth, branding is, to put it succinctly, Apple computers are expensive. Apple products are expensive. Because they're a brand, they get to charge more. So, whatever business, I don't care if you're selling potato chips. There's a restaurant in Philadelphia that has this steak dinner that's like $1,000. And the restaurant's several years old. It's a brand. So when you brand yourself and you create this relationship between the public and yourself and your company, you can charge more money. You could charge way more money. You can charge a lot more money. There's a landscaping company here called Gibbs Landscaping. Gibbs is more expensive than, let's say, Julio's Landscaping. Julio's got a truck, a lawnmower, he's got a, a leaf blower, but many people are going to pay Gibbs more money for the same service because of the Gibbs brand. Once again, this is why you need to brand your company. This is why this is why this is going to be the first business class, which is going to be January 27th, giving people time to get in. Greetings to South America. Modis. You know, business class, we're going to talk about the art of building a brand. And it's the step-by-step sequence of what you need to do to brand your business. Because it's 2020. We're going to be starting businesses this year. No more half-stepping, no more playing around. We're going to be starting businesses. And the art of branding is going to take you sitting down and thinking about, I never undercharge and never advertise deals because they give more value than the competition. What do you do, Fajita? Once again, this is going to be the first business class, which comes part of the digital education package, which you can get tonight before 11:59 p.m. And each month, I'm going to be offering a business class. And branding is so important. Okay. Because branding is critical when you are putting together your business. And this is something that so many businesses don't do. Julio's Lawn Service. What is Julio's Lawn Service? Julio's drive. He's got a white truck. He doesn't even have Julio's Lawn Service on the side of his truck. He gets out of his truck. What is Julio wearing? Julio doesn't even have a uniform. Whatever he woke up that day and put on, that's what he's cutting grass. Sometimes I identify biz my logo and not always the name. Well, one of the things that you got to do, like when you see the Nike swoosh, you know that's Nike. And you know, when you see the Jordan Jumpman, you know that's Air Jordan. So there's a strong relationship between the company's image, marketing image, and the perception of that company. And we can be happy, like, once again, you see this apple. You know, for some people, remember when the Android phones were exploding and all these memes was going around? Like there was this meme of this guy, his ear was burned off, his face was all charred. He was still better than Apple. You get so many competition brands because people become very loyal. There's a lot of people who are team Android. And there's a lot of people who are team Apple. I knew this chick, and she asked me, it was a Craigslist protocol. She asked me, she was like, are you team Android or are you team Apple? And I had an iPhone at the time. I said, I'm team Apple. She said, good, I can date you. This girl, because she had fixed such a high value on the Apple iPhone, it influenced her dating decisions. This is how, you know, because there are many people who call us people, I'm an Apple head. I have an iPhone, I have the Apple Watch, I have 3 Apple computers, the iPad, I've got the whole kit and caboodle. And, you know, and one of the reasons I have all this Apple stuff is I'm a YouTuber. And it works very well from just the airdropping of images, like the thumbnail you saw. I created it on my computer and I airdropped it to my phone because the old way that I used to stream just isn't working on YouTube. And it's just this, because when you buy an Apple product, and I'm gonna explain to you the Apple philosophy, you get the Apple ecosystem. And if you're a graphics designer or you are a YouTuber or a visual, it just works so well for what you do. And this is why, and also, as someone who used a lot of PCs, I was replacing my PCs every year because I was so brutal on them, you know, taking them to auctions, whipping them out. And I can get an Apple computer and it's going to last me, regardless of what I do to it, for 5 to 7 years, pretty easily. And that's one of the reasons I spend the money. But part of the philosophy, you know, going back to Julio's Lawn Service, Julio he has no branding going on whatsoever. He doesn't have a side placard on his truck because, I pay attention to the guys who cut my neighbor's grass. And none of them are branded, not one. And if you brand your business and create this relationship between you and the general public, you can charge more money. That's how you can get more money for your business, by branding it. Because you're going to see me do a whole lot of different stuff in 2020, because I'm going to get back into it. I'm going to really, really stroke it out, so to speak, in terms of building out the multiple brands. Because I'm going to give you an example of a very strong brand that I have, that I haven't put the time into it, but because I started off so strong, that this brand makes $15,000, $17,000 a month, and it's a very small YouTube channel. It's got 2,000 subscribers, but the engagement is right 30-something%. So, I cannot make a video on that channel and the views drop slowly. Where on this channel, if I don't make any videos, boom, it drops. But the Disruptive Male brand is very strong. And, it's just the power of a brand. Because once you set up yourself as a brand, and this is about really thinking about, what do you stand for? Like, take Johnny Cupcakes. If you've heard of that, they sell t-shirts. So whenever someone sees Johnny Cupcakes, they know they're going to get some whimsical, it's a brand that cave to people who like to wear the avant t-shirts. So you get so many things that go on with a brand. You got personal brands. Many YouTubers are personal brands. And when they've built their personal brand so strong, they get millions and millions of followers. That's money. So this is why you got to brand your business. I think Apple has some problems, which is why Steve Jobs got his company back, because Steve Jobs got pushed out. And Steve Jobs came back and reinvigorated Apple. So, once again, the champagne room. We're doing it different in 2020. We're doing it a little different. Let's talk about Apple going bankrupt. What brought them back? Steve Jobs, he came back. And no, the audio ain't out of sync. That's probably on your end. You need to refresh. Microsoft saved them from going out of business. Okay. Well, what I'm talking about is Apple created this brand that has been able they've been able to sell computers for 3 to 5 times the average sales price of these other guys. Let me say this again. Like this right here. This is almost $3,000, the new MacBook Pro. You can go out and get a Chromebook for $300 that does pretty much the same thing. I want you to think about that. This MacBook Pro, the new one, and if you get it really tricked out, it's going to be close to $5,000. You can get a Chromebook. You can get an Alienware. You can get all these other computers for well, the Alienware is tricked out. They're pretty close to Apple prices. But you can go ahead and get all of these computers. You can get Dells. You can get IBM clones. You can, yes, Apple system got their ecosystem on lock. Because see, when you buy an Apple product, you automatically get iCloud. You get the AirDrop. You get all of the stuff. They've got this whole thing built in. I even got an Apple TV. I don't even have it plugged up yet. because I'm just running off of my cable. I don't even look at Netflix that much. I've just been watching football games. But the message that I want to give you guys is by creating a brand, you can get an unlimited amount of money. My laptop's out of juice, or I would look it up. But these Johnny Cupcake t-shirts are like $40, $50. And if for any of you who are trying to sell any merch, once you get past 25 bucks, sales plummet. And Johnny Cupcake is able to get $40 and $50 for one t-shirt. Or another brand, Bathing Ape. How many of you guys heard of Bathing Ape? I discovered Bathing Ape because there was a controversial cover of Rolling Stone and Lil Wayne where he had a Bathing Ape belt buckle and it said BAPE, B-A, Bathing Ape, right? But the way the picture looked, it looked like it said rape. And people were wigging out because they didn't know the Bathing Ape brand. And the Bathing Ape brand is something that was started in Japan. And essentially what they did is they would release a collection of t-shirts and they wouldn't make any more. And these t-shirts would sell for 3 to 4 times the price they sold new because you couldn't get them anymore. So Bathing Ape operated on the scarcity principle. Yep. Bathing Ape, and this is how I found out about Bathing Ape. I was up actually not too far from here, up on Roswell Road at a public storage auction. And I bought this unit that just had some snazzy furniture in it. I mean, it just looked really, really sophisticated. And the guy who lost the unit was an executive for a record company. And he had about 25 Bathing Ape shirts in there, plus 3 guns, some very nice furniture. I only paid like $400 for the unit. The Bathing Ape shirts were selling for $300 to $700 on eBay. I sold 2 shirts. I was in the profit off of 2 shirts, and I still had 23. I think collectively did about $7,000 off of those t-shirts. Because he had some limited editions, he had some rare ones, he had some first editions, and then the guns and all this other stuff. And this is my introduction to Bathing Ape, because I had to go online, I had to look it up, find out what the history. Lil Wayne just done a collab with Bathing Ape. Lil Wayne's been with Bathing Ape for years. It's been with them for years. And Bathing Ape, because go ahead and Google Bathing Ape. And, sometimes it's a shirt with the ape on it. And it's become like a cult brand that people are fanatical about. The Neptunes were rocking Bape in the day. Think Chris Brown. I mean, seriously, rappers love it because they put out, these shirts. Because, see, this is one of the things that rappers and athletes like. They like exclusivity. And when you buy a Bathing Ape Collection 103 shirt, they're going to make so many of them, then they're going to stop making that shirt. And unless they bought in this collection, you're not going to be able to get. And Supreme is another brand. Supreme is such a hot brand that people make a full-time income standing out in line to get Supreme merchandise and reselling it on eBay. Power of a brand. They stand in line, they'll pay like $150 for a shirt, then they'll go flip this same shirt they paid $150 for one shirt, and they will flip that shirt for $300 to $400 on eBay. So, Hype Beast, that's another thing. Hype Beast is a whole nother genre. Hype Beast, once again, branding. Branding. This is why, like I saw Lionel Richie. I don't know if you know who Lionel Richie is, but there was a group, the Commodores. And Lionel Richie, he's from Alabama, and the Commodores were formed at Tuskegee University. And Lionel Richie has created himself a brand that has increased his net worth to about $200 million. Lionel Richie's like 70 some years old, but because he's had long money forever, he doesn't look his age at all. So Curtis Mayfield was a brand. Johnny Mathis, who is still alive, is a brand. Lionel Richie still puts on a great show. I saw him 4 years ago. Lionel is ageless. He's 70 some years old because there was a video of one of his daughters doing her makeup, and she was at their house, and he came in, and he was like, "Hello," and he doesn't look nor act like any 71-year-old. If you really understand what he's trying to say, being excessively cheap isn't the answer. Oh, Lionel Richie's still going strong. He's still going strong. But once again, once you become a brand, Apple computers are selling for 10 times more than the competition. And people are paying it. I've seen people on YouTube talk about, I'm not buying Apple. Then they'll do a video like, okay, I broke down and I went back and I bought Apple. The power of a brand. And what we're going to do in the business class is I'm going to teach you how to brand your business. I don't care if you're selling cookies. Branding your business is the difference between selling your cookie for 50 cents or selling one cookie for $3.50. See, this is one of the things that many people don't understand. Jordan is a brand. They can do that. Big Boys Barbecue Store, what's the fastest way I need to know? There ain't no fast way. There ain't no shortcuts. If you're going to do this properly and going to get long-term benefits, it's going to take you some time. So take fast out of your mind. Apple didn't become a brand overnight. Microsoft didn't become a brand overnight. Stop with the shortcut thinking and the limited thinking. Because once again, once you learn this game and learn how to brand yourself, it's, because one of the things, Georgetown Cupcakes flipped their cupcakes into a reality show. Lil Taurus, we're not talking about LLCs in this live stream. We're talking about brands. How you should brand your company so you can command a higher fee, even though there are 10, 20, 30 other companies selling the same thing for less. That's the power of a brand. Hustlers Kung Fu, life skill, Hustlers Kung Fu. I'm gonna refresh all of my brands. Apple built their stores like a church to build a brand. I think the public did that. Short-term thing, it cost me nothing but frustrations. What's up, O'Shea? Thanks for the Polish money, $50. Like, once again, like Master P, he has figured out branding. They got these chips called wrap chips, and they're in like 2,000 stores. That's a whole nother game. That's a whole nother game. Because once again, if you can get a product and you can get into 2,000 stores, Trump is a brand. I mean, when Trump ran for president, everyone already knew who he was. Engineer makes me feel better about ordering my doormat. Yes. So many businesses don't do this. Like all of the guys around here who do the landscaping, none of them are branded. None of them are branded. And if they would take the time, and we're going to talk about this in the course, if they would take the time to get a uniform, Get a uniform. Because see, part of the problem is you got people Ryan's World, and then just some of those YouTubers. Oh, YouTubers are crazy. One of the things is when you like Master P, because let's look at Master P's and the rap chips. That is a multi-million-dollar product by itself. The rap chips. Because I've seen them because this is how these things sell. I just saw some damn Ryan's World cereals. Like when you get a deal like rap chips, they get paid because all these stores buy these stuff wholesale. So when Walmart buys these rap chips, they send a check to the company that makes the rap chips. So they getting paid because you see them in the aisles, know that company's already got paid. In one of my groups, someone just announced that this YouTuber is putting her hair care products in 1,700 stores. No, like, one of the things I'm doing this year is I'm staying on point because we're not going to go off on tangents. This live stream is about branding your company. It's about branding your company because you brand your company, you can get more money. Or you can get exclusive distribution deals. Rap chips, because the first time I saw it, I actually took a picture of it and posted this on Facebook, and this was like 5 or 6 years ago. Snacks, I mean, I don't know BK Pro. I don't know if he did that. I'm the sales rep for the Real King of Chips. Walmart's always trying to put those rap chips. People like the rap chips. They like the packaging. They're on Amazon. I mean, once again, this is the power of branding, because whatever business, I don't care whatever you're doing. I don't care if you're doing pest control. I don't care if you're selling cookies. I don't care if you're teaching online courses. You need to brand yourself. You need to brand your business. The benefits are so numerous. I was in the mall and saw a hair weave vending machine. Good Lord, Steve. Like weave, I don't really associate with weave, but I know what silky number 5 is, or I used to know this stuff, but Boozy only gave insights on his vodka. Once again, this is something Sean Diddy P. Combs started. Rappers creating liquor brands because it's a lifestyle brand. If you're a rapper, there's so many things that you can do because of the things that go into the lifestyle of being a rapper. And a lot of these kids are tapping into this extra money. The Remy, it's and sometimes if you're not careful, your company can be branded negative. Like there's so many things because you can have a big flop. Definitely where the growth is, definitely. But here's how you can get more money for any business you create by branding your business. And so many business owners don't even think about that aspect. They think about operating, serving customers, but they never think about, what does someone think about me when they see my company name? What do they think about this brand? Because that's the connection that you got to make. Because I'm sitting here, I'm screaming this. Apple's selling these computers 10 times more than what other computer sellers are selling their products for. Because Apple has built a massive brand. And once you become a brand, you can launch off into sub-brands. Apple TV, Apple Streaming, the cult of Mac. There's so many sub-brands of Apple products. And once again, once you brand, like, let's use Donald Trump. When Donald Trump ran for president, everybody already knew who he was. And to his credit, that's a hard thing to do. Like like Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston go anywhere in the world when she was alive and everyone would know who she was. That kind of branding and marketing and marketplace awareness is very, very hard to get. Very, very hard to get. And if, Donald Trump hadn't branded himself and branded the Trump name, he wouldn't have won. So all that work he did decades before paid off for him being elected president. Once again, this is something that Gary Vee talks about. And, he says this all the time, that if you're out here, you need to be putting out 130 pieces. Pretty much, Jason. There's presidential candidates dropping out, didn't even know they were running because they don't have enough name brand awareness. Amazon also has sub-brands, Amazon Prime, Amazon TV. Yep. The power of branding, because one of the hardest things that you're going to do as a business owner is make the world aware of what you do. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the hardest things that you will be pulling off. That's one of the hardest things, because every day you're going to be out there making people aware. Take Andrew Yang. Everyone knows him as the $1,000 a month guy. And he dropped out. I mean, once again, this is such a powerful concept for you guys to start your business. Like, I had a friend who clients must understand your messages. Because see, let me explain, like Alex Becker. He branded himself as the Lambo guy and the Rolex guy. Because before you sell somebody something, you must get their attention. Kevin Hart is a brand. Kevin Hart is the most highly paid comedian in the world. Kevin Hart. Audible is a brand. Bloomberg, yes. I think I saw something about him dropping out. Here's one of the things. Yes, Lil Tullis, branding is very powerful, because you see that Apple logo, you know what it is. The Rock. The Rock has like 100 million followers on social media. The Rock has branded himself. Dwayne Johnson, he's gone so far. And, let's talk about with presidential candidates. The hardest thing they have to do is to get people to know who they are. Black Caesar. Oh, branding. Because you can go back to the 1920s advertising guys, and they still get on this whole thing with branding. Tupperware. Tupperware is a brand. Tupperware is such a powerful brand that even non-Tupperware products are called Tupperware. Well, hand me that Tupperware. One of the biggest problems that so many people have trying to run for president is no one knows who they are. And Essentially, if I don't know who you are, I don't really care about you. And if I don't care about you, I'm not listening to you. I mean, some of these guys needed to be more outrageous. Like Trump is outrageous. You don't know what he's going to do, and this keeps people tuned in to him because he's reinforcing his brand as the president of the United States. But let's go back to Julio. Julio's Under Armour made its own line. And, you know, the CEO of Under Armour, Kevin Plank, keeps talking about how unfair, because Under Armour makes money, but Nike makes like 20, 30 times more money. And he talks about the relationship, but Under Armour, they keep coming. But let's go with Julio, the lawn care service guy. If Julio did the following things, if Julio painted his truck a nice color, make sure that it was Julio's Lawn Service on both sides and the tailgate, because, you know, a lot of people don't do that, and he wore a uniform, he would instantly be able to charge more money because he looks more credible. Sure thing, Jane. He would be able to make more money. Now, if he branded himself and he made sure that all his employees also wore uniforms, and he put out a company policy book, you must shave, because I've seen landscaping guys look like anything goes. But Gibbs, the guys wear a tan suit, a tan uniform, tan jacket, tan pants, and a white shirt. That alone, because it's like, man, this company's serious about what they do. Creating a brand is one of the goods. I'm going to refresh Hustlers Kung Fu, B School for Hustlers. I started a new YouTube channel for B School for Hustlers. And, you know, the personal finance channel, I'm going to go hard with all of that stuff because Dave Ramsey is a brand. When you hear Dave Ramsey, what's the first thing you think about? Money management. The women in Magic City are a brand. Some of these strip clubs are brands. Some of these strip clubs, like, I knew a guy who owned a strip club, and he refused to hire any chick that had tattoos. His club was known as the upscale club. None of the girls had tattoos. None of the girls were overweight. You know, he didn't hire women with stretch marks. He's like, if she ain't flawless, she ain't working in my club. And that became his brand. And they were charging $20 for dances. They charged more for their drinks. And he placed his club in a wealthier part of town. He branded his club. They were flawless. Everyone's like, oh man, those chicks are flawless in there. Jason, that's probably the only strip I go to. Playboy and the bunny logo is huge. It's a brand. Engineer life skills, we're talking about branding. This is what the conversation's on. We're talking about branding. BK Pro, something as simple as a professional logo would change people's presentations of your company. Absolutely. Absolutely. These companies, when they buy a logo, they may spend up to $1 million for a logo. And this is something that designers who are in the know that, because this company, this logo is going to go on their building. It's going to go on their letterhead. It's going to go on their business cards. This logo is going to be seen all over the place. And they will pay big money for that logo. Big money. And, you know, and it's more than just, it's creating the connection between the public perception and what you think when you see this logo. Like when you see the apple with the bite out of it, you know that's Apple. When you see the swoosh, you know that's Nike. You see the Jumpman, you know that's Jordan. Because these companies spend massive amounts of money connecting the brand to public perception. So McDonald's is a brand. McDonald's doesn't have the best hamburgers, but because they have a brand and they have a system, they sell more hamburgers than anyone else. So it's safe to say a brand is an implied story. It's what people think of your company when they see your logo. What's the first thing that when I mention Dave Ramsey? Everybody knows what Dave Ramsey does. Money management, no credit cards. See, good brands also tell great stories. Because one of the things that I've been negligent on, because I've been all over the place, is I haven't really worked on the brands. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing this course, to remind me of the stuff I need to do. Because like Disruptive Mail is a powerful brand. Hustlers Kung Fu is a powerful brand. And B School for Hustlers will be a powerful brand. Because see, once you start to sit down and think about, all right, what do I want to do? Dave Ramsey, get out of debt. I mean, there's some, you know, you think Dave Ramsey in no credit cards, get out of debt. That's his brand. And Dave Ramsey has been selling the same products for decades. There's other people out there who do financial planning, but they're not brands. Dave Ramsey's getting ready to build this university complex because he's been talking about it on the show. That's why he isn't buying into real estate. All the money's going to build this complex, this educational complex. Because once again, I know you're thinking like Dave Ramsey's an old guy. See, once you get understand market cycles, every day, I think 300,000 people turn 18. So every day, there's a 300,000 new potential customers for these brands. Every day. And once you understand, because this is one of the things that I picked on, is you can build a brand like B School for Hustlers. Let me tell you the plan. I've got a 10-year plan for B School for Hustlers. And why I started with the digital education products is everybody's coming online. And you're going to have to build a brand. You're going to have to get your LLC stuff. I'm going to go ahead and create this curriculum for someone who wants to start an online business, teaching them how to build a brand. Dave, yeah, I've noticed that. Dave's got a lot of people doing shows because he's bringing them under the Dave Ramsey brand. He could bring on, one of his chicks' names is Rachel, the black guy. I don't know his name, but he's got a really deep voice. They're no threat to Dave Ramsey's brand. None whatsoever. But going on with the B School for Hustlers, pretty much because they're already positioned, and positioning is very important. Schwarzenegger, I will be back. Good example of branding. Rachel's his daughter. They bring in more diverse people. All right. One of the things that, you know, what's going on is Chris Hogan. What's going on with B School for Hustlers is I got this 10-year plan that if you want to start an online business and you want an online curriculum, because this is where many people who create courses, they'll create a course, but they're not creating the curriculum. So you'll be able to come into the digital education package, learn how to set up your LLC, learn how to brand, learn how to run traffic. Everything that you'll need will be under B School for Hustlers. Because once again, one of the issues that you have that's going on out here is courses are good. Courses are great, but they're not giving people enough information. Oh yeah, Chris Hogan stuff. I mean, because Dave Ramsey has become a financial philosophy. Even after Dave Ramsey dies, it's going to be still known as the Dave Ramsey way. That's a very powerful brand that he has built for himself. That is incredible. So once again, once you build these brands, once you get them situated and get them growing, Rich Dad Poor Dad is a brand. Everybody's heard of that book, Robert Kiyosaki. He branded himself with one book because it was a philosophy and it was a good story. My Rich Dad, My Poor Dad. It's very easy to understand. It's very relatable. This is why Donald Trump, because there are many people who were talked about, he uses simple language. Most of the country is geared for that. Why do you think that 75 million people only make $33,000 or less? These are not mental giants. Your message has to be simple and it has to be, they get it like that. Because if they got to think about it and they got to figure it out or it's too crafty, the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. Once again, your message has got to be simple. It cannot be complex. Air Jordan, when he did that dunk. Jesse, when I was writing my first book, my editor who came in, the good editor, actually took out a lot of the big words because she said most people weren't understand them. The chicken soup for the soul. This guy, that's a very interesting story, Grant Barnes. He only made like $70,000 off the book, but he made millions for the public speaking because he built a brand. From being in the music business, the average song is on the 5th or 6th grade level so everyone can relate. Here's the reality. So many people are not pushing themselves to be greater. Good Lord, Behind the Lens TV. Starting a brand and building a brand is one of the best things you can do. Patriots, this is the first time they exited the playoffs this early in 10 years. Earl Nightingale stuff is the strangest secret. And see, listen, right here, we're having this conversation. You guys are throwing out brand after brand after brand after brand, which tells you there's room for you and your brand. There's so much money out here. There's so much. Byron Allen said it. There's $22 trillion worth of capital out there. But you don't know how to access it. It's kind of like having $1 million in the trunk at the bottom of the sea. What's a good Earl Nightingale book? The Strangest Secret. And he doesn't do books. He does audio recordings. Leading the Field, The Strangest Secret, Leading the Field. Once again, Earl Nightingale has been dead 40 years, 40 or 50 years, and his brand is still going. And what you think about that? He's been dead. Elvis Presley. Elvis has been dead decades. And Graceland, his estate still makes millions of dollars a year. That's funny. Earl Nightingale. I mean, once again, you just got to sit down and think about it. Breezy Roberts, no, that will be a separate course. Essentially, how to start a service business is to get you guys started to be making money as quick as possible. Because unless you're making that money, you ain't gonna stick with it. Because this is one of the biggest problems with so many Americans. If there isn't, Earl died 30 years ago. All right, thanks. He's been dead for 3 decades, and his brand is still going. With the how to start a service business, is to get you money as quick as possible, because the money will keep you motivated. If you don't get no money, most folks will just give up and stop doing it, unless they got someone like me cracking the whip. Yeah, yeah, you could do it. You could do it. But once again, this is one of the things. My problem is I don't know what to sell. Go ahead and get into the how to start a service business, because that course is designed for people just like you. There's so many people who want to make more money, but they don't really have any clue. And I'm going to attribute this to bad parenting, because these folks were not exposed to much as a child, so they don't really know what's going on. All they know is they've got this urge in their belly to make more money, to go out and do something, to become somebody, to build something, to become great. And they don't really have no clue where to start. None whatsoever. But the power of brands. All right, Rob, for real estate. Scott Belvin. Tony Robbins has made way more money than Earl Nightingale, man. Once again, there's so many. Rolls Royce is a brand, but few people know it's the same as a BMW. That's interesting, because when Rolls Royce bought BMW, Walt Disney, that's another brand. Racism doesn't get in the way of successful branding. Look at rappers. You know, rappers' biggest fan base are white people. Racism doesn't get in the way. Racism, put this ideal in your head. I will succeed, and go out there and do it. Kenya, I started a leather belt business. Surprisingly, it's doing well. There's so many brands out there. Like weed. There are going to be weed brands. Like, once again, this is a little dirty story. One of my Craigslist protocols. I was dealing with this trick, and she was smoking this weed that was very flagrant, very fragrant. It didn't smell like weed. Pretty much, Rod, for real estate, stop thinking black and white so much and start thinking green. Pretty much. Because racism in 2020 is not going to stop you if you put in the work. I could say that as a person who's made millions of dollars online, showing my black face. My customers know I'm black before they buy. I've had white people, Asian people, people in Egypt, people in Israel buy my products. So let's stop defeating ourselves before we begin. Like, oh Lord, racism, it's gonna get me down. Byron Allen became a multi-millionaire before the lawsuit. You know, yes, there's racism. There's going to be some white person who's going to like, oh, he's black, I don't care for him. That's all they can do. That's all they can do. They can't hire you. They can't stop you. They can't stop you from starting a website. They can't stop you from creating a product. They can't stop you from, hey, I have a product in 3 major big box stores, and my biggest problem is just, you need to start a social media campaign. I mean, once again, you know, we only have so much time in this live stream. And if the more complex your problem, and getting public awareness is a complex problem. All these races still love Muhammad Ali, pretty much. You know, getting name brand awareness is something that you have to consistently do. You have to be out promoting. Like with email. Every race likes money, pretty much. Like email. I send out tons of emails. And I know every time I send off an email, I know X amount of people are going to hop off that email list. But you know what? The more emails I send, the more money I make. I sent out an email last night. I made $18,000 in 24 hours. And people got off that list, but people bought. So once again, the branding is such a powerful thing that you can do. And it's just like I said, like all these landscape guys around here, none of them are branded. You know, if you start a painting company and you give it a funny name and you have a high degree of professionalism, you could charge more money than other people. You could create a book product. People want to know how you got in those stores. He probably just picked up the phone and called the store manager. Do you know that some store managers have the ability to put a new product in their store? You just got to call them and like, hey, you know, I have a product I think your customers will appreciate. You got to pick up the phone. So many people have gotten to where they have gotten in life because they just tried to do something. As simple as, well, I want my product in this store. Let me call the store. Trump's brand was actually a construction company first. Well, that was Daddy Trump. The Trump brand is like 70, is 89, it's 90 years old. And that's something else that's hard to get. Time and brand. That really is. But once again, you know, a brand could be as so much as when you're out at an event and you have on a t-shirt with your company logo on it. That's just a good part of it. That's one of the things that you can do. Because branding, you know, and you will see me do this with my brands. Because, see, I don't have one brand. And this is one of the things that one of my mentors was talking to me about 3 years ago. And he said, you need to pick one thing. You need to learn how to cold call DM development. Branding is great for generational wealth. Look at Apple, look at Microsoft, look at Wells Fargo. Byron was a cold calling maniac. People didn't see that part. He cold called for 5 years. Zach Cream, absolutely. How many singers do we know who are not the greatest singing talent? Beyonce. But the package, the branded package. There was the CNC Music Factory. There was this lawsuit. One of the girls on the song, I think one of their biggest hits, she was a fat girl. And they dubbed her over this skinny girl singing her song. And she got pissed off, and I think she sued. Katy Perry, the packaging. Because a brand is not like, I remember, I forget who he was. I think it was L.A. Reid who said, you can go to the South and walk around churches and find some of the greatest singers on the planet. He said, singing, it takes more than singing ability to be a star. Jennifer Lopez. Once again, so it ain't about talent. It's about the package. And you can put together Milli and Vanilli, who incidentally, they did learn how to sing after they got exposed. Packaging. Because, like, you know, Trump's grandfather, the whole family's been in crime and grift, huh? Beyonce can't sing like Whitney. Beyonce cannot sing like Layla Hathaway. Beyonce, she can't sing like those chicks. She can sing, but she's not the greatest singing talent. She puts on an amazing show. Kelly Rowland was a star. I always thought that Kelly Rowland was the cutest one in Destiny's Child. So once again, you know, the branding, you know, once again, look at the package like they did. I remember that video where they were doing this fast dancing and they had this girl and she lip sung and like, it just wasn't going to work. Like Adele Go to Adele's Instagram page and see she can sing, and she lost weight. Yes, Beyonce is a performer. The chick lost weight because the package. There's this girl, Billie English. She's got the package. Once again, you cannot become a successful singing star without the package. You know, and you got to have some singing ability, like Lady Gaga, another one. But it's the package. Because what you do when you create this persona and it connects with people, these people become rabid fans because they like you. Justin Bieber, who got discovered on YouTube. You know, Donald Glover, that's another brand. Childish Gambino. Got to, you know, check this out. Go to Derek Community here on YouTube, and you'll see Donald Glover where he got his chops. Because he used to write for this comic, Derek's Community. And, you know, he is a Renaissance man. Well, I think the original minds behind Sears are gone. Because, you know, Drake, another brand. And also, to Drake's credit, Drake, at one point, was putting out songs back to back to back to back to back to back. The singing can be touched up in the studio. I mean, once again, this is just the power of branding. Once again, this is just the power of branding. Because when you have your business, you need to have... He can do it all. I mean, he's a Renaissance man. He's a writer. He's a rapper. I mean, once again, this is wide open to anyone. Putting together a brand is just so wide open that anyone can do it. And we're going to talk about it. So after this video renders, well, the links and stuff will be below. And once again, all of the holiday pricing is over as of 11:59 tonight. So anything you see you want, I'll be sending out some emails in a minute. So with that, I will see you guys later. Make this, thanks James Salmon for the $5 super chat. Make this the foundational year, because it's going to take you 2 to 3 years to get where you want to go. But you got to get started. And let 2020 be the year that you get started. Because some of you are going to live to be 90 years old. Some of you are going to live to be 100 years old. And if you take 5 to 10 years out of your life and grind and set this thing up, the life you have after that grinding period will be amazing. You will be living that life. So once again, I'll see you guys later.